I saw Winds of Arcana last year during IGDC, I guess. Now, when I see it, like every week I see a snippet. I'm telling you the amount of crazy work that you guys have put in. Difference in the art style and the gameplay, right? It's amazing. I mean, it's actually since a lot of work has been put and are eager to listen to and iterate on your product and not having that own like a product ego having one direction that you have. But I've seen you guys improving, and this is not just me. Yeah, I'll be very honest, and I think I'm saying this for the first time. Even when we have spoken offline, at least 20 people who have said that the changes from that last year's to this year has been terrific.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Yeah, this is the first time you're like revealing that, but
All right, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the gaming podcast by underDOG. And in this episode, we are speaking to one of my close friends, Prashant, from Brood Games. So, Prashant, can you just start with an kick-ass introduction?
yeah, absolutely. But firstly, thanks a lot, Vaibhav. I think we've known each other for exactly about a year and a month. We met at last IGTC, and you've been nothing but nice and kind and helpful and so supportive. Okay, I'll stop with all the compliments. But I'm Prashant. I'm one of the four co-founders of an indie studio from Bangalore called Brood Games, and we are working on our very first game called Winds of Arcana Ruination, and it's an action platformer Metroidvania with Souls elements to it, and it releases next year in 2024.
Great. I'll quickly, jump into the hot topic, right? Which is your game, and then we'll talk about what you've been doing so far. And so, just for the users to understand what you're building, just sum up your game, and what are you actually targeting with this game, and when did you actually start building this?
Sure. So actually, it's a funny story. The version of the game that we now believe it to be is actually kind of like the fifth or sixth iteration, and it's intertwined very closely with the history of the studio and how it all started. Believe it or not, exactly 3 years ago, we were set up, four of us, in one small room, on the fifth floor with no lift. We're like walking up and down every day. And we're just like, hey, let's do this. Let's build a game studio. Like, how hard can it be? And
This was
yeah,
three. This was 3 years back. You're saying.
yeah, yeah,
So four
three
of
years
you
back.
started this.
Yeah, so three of us actually started it. We had another friend at that point who was also part of it, and then our fourth co-founder joined. As soon as he knew we were doing this, he was like, "I'll do absolutely anything. Write the story. I'll do whatever marketing, anything. Just let me in." And I think soon after we understood how serious he was and what a great fit he'd be. And up till that point, we thought we'd be building a hyper casual game,
Okay.
so that's where
Yeah,
it
what a
began.
jump! What a jump from which is what a lot of people miss out, right? The scope of the game. And we keep
Yeah.
on talking about it on YouTube videos. How do you scope your game? But yeah, interesting story. Started with a hyper casual game, but
Yeah.
building a PC console title. Great.
Yeah, so as soon as we started playing all these hyper casual games, I think we just realized like how like badly equipped we are to do this.
Okay.
We thought it was easy, and I think we were proven that it was absolutely tough and was a wrong assumption from our end, and we
Yeah.
just weren't the right people to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally relate to it because everybody who went into hyper casual at that time thought it was easy. It is definitely not that easy. After even 100 prototypes, we got 3 4 prototypes right. So look at the look at the probability, right? So yeah, I can totally relate, man.
Yeah, so it came to us in phases, and then we thought, okay, we'll do a casual game. Then we understood that we don't like free to play. We don't like it as gamers, and we would probably make even like not so great game developers either. We don't do number crunching in that way, and I think we weren't as data driven to put that. And end of the day, I think we were like gamers and game developers, more looking internationally, and we weren't so much as mobile gamers as we thought. We would.
Yeah, but what was the composition? Like four of you, three of you. What was the composition? Because when you think about a game, you basically need those pillars, right? Somebody has to do the design, somebody has to do the art or the programming. What was the composition, and did it fit into the whole system?
So that's an interesting question because the initial three of us, the composition, was as diverse as it gets. Exactly the point that you were making is we had one developer and one environment artist, but who's also a technical artist. So they both love game engines, they love nerding out on all of that stuff. Getting the performance, like all of that. That was their main thing, and I come from a more like a project management kind of role. And I thought, okay, what the hell am I going to do? Okay, I love, game design stuff. I like ideas. Although I'm not a game designer, I like to look at things from what makes it fun. But at the same time, also help plan things. And I believe the best thing that I can do is put the team together and get them to build the best.
Yeah,
Like I think
the
if
job
I
of
have to
the job
succeed,
of a director, basically.
yeah, yeah,
Bring
yeah,
the best talent
absolutely.
and but what is your background to be to start with, because you're saying you don't you are more into the project management side or building stuff, right? So what's your background on that?
Yeah, it's quite surprising and it's also funny in some aspects. The three of us that I said started the studio, so we all actually met at a game institute called AIGA in Bangalore,
Okay.
and we already loved games. We studied to be game artists, and at that point, the only kinds of jobs available were to model cars, and we really, I don't think any of us actually wanted to just do that.
Yeah.
And we were sold a dream where we thought there would be so many gaming studios by the time we're out, and we'd have like so many options, but it actually wasn't that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think
No, at
you
least in
kind of
the
started at a
at least
similar time, so
yeah, at least in the scale of the games, the bigger games, definitely we didn't have those studios building bigger games, which requires a lot of
yeah.
that artistic vision of building the 3D environments and assets, because everything was mobile at that time also.
Yeah, and just there weren't as many opportunities. So we thought, okay, I don't want to specialize in like, hard surface modeling. And I definitely thought like, learning programming is something that was beyond me. And I just didn't think there was anything in between. Whereas now we understand that there are so many specializations that you could like take up. It's so great.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just actually ended up joining a company,
Yeah.
all three of us, that was called Atman Software. And the main person there, the owner, he actually had built a couple of games before, like a Rubik's Cube game in the late 90s, and another game called IO. And he actually, the cool thing that he did was he actually built his own engine.
Okay.
So he used to like, just he used to be aloof from everything else. And mainly he would like build all this cool tech.
Yeah.
And, he just asked us like, do you want to work with us? We'll build some great games. So we thought that was it. And then we joined and we got to learn a lot of cool things, but a lot of game technologies, but actually we didn't get to work on any games. We did build a lot of cool architectural visualizations, a lot of cool things to do with computer graphics, but not necessarily games. And
Right.
before we knew it, it was already like four years down. And then I diverted. I went into AR and VR at that point.
Okay.
And
What year was this?
so I think it was 2016. I took a break for a year and a half where I did nothing but chill, and I'd joined a course where I had to like take up exams. So I was just I was honestly like, those were amazing times. I played a lot of games, but so much studying and all that. So that didn't really happen. But then when I got into the second job, it was a great opportunity. But again, using game engines, it was using Unreal Engine. But I was more as a 3D artist who will create these lab equipment that eventually it would turn into a VR training program and all of that. That's, I think, the first time where I realized that I could do more than just be the person creating the art. I like talking to people. I like working with them, help organize. I think that kind of like, worked well for me.
I understood. That's the core, right? That's the beginning of your journey. So how did it all start with for Winds of Arcana? What is that initial thought that you know drove you to build a game like this?
Yeah, I think so. That was at our third company that the three of us again started working together.
So
I
this
know.
bunch kept on moving from company to company.
Yeah, they only didn't work at the second company.
Okay.
Otherwise, at the third company, our programmer Yashasvi, he was already there, and he said, "Hey, there's some cool stuff happening here. You should join." And then I ended up joining, and then both of us together got our 3D art environment artist Naveen, and he also joined. And then also our fourth co-founder also worked there, by the way, Mahesh, but in a different department. So that happened, and we tried a lot of different things for AR and VR. We tried creating a lot of proof of concepts for a lot of industries, we just felt like people were not going to pay for things. It was mainly business to business, and we realized that it's really hard in India. Like the only way you can get a deal is if you know you're already related to someone, and they're going to give you the deal anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, Man, like it was like really like it was such a rude awakening. People wouldn't pay something like 5,000, like big companies
Yeah.
who have big budgets. And it was crazy. But we were like just thinking, we've spent 11 years. What have we done? We've accomplished nothing, launched zero projects that are like out there. We just felt like we're like the most useless misfits of all time.
Yeah, that I mean sometimes it's like you're building something, but there is nothing that you can actually be proud of, which you can show it to people that you're working on, right? Something like
Yeah.
that.
You hit the nail on the head. So multiply that by four of us feeling that, and one day we were just out at a place, having a couple of drinks, and then actually, yeah, it was not even there. It was in the office. We were quite frustrated that nothing was working out,
In the
and
same office. In the same office.
in the third company. Yes, yes, yes. And our programmer, he'd been applying for a lot of jobs abroad, and I'd also been applying. And every one of our applications, it didn't even reach a place where we could like give an interview. The number one reason was you never worked on anything, you never shipped anything. So they didn't even bother talking to us.
Yeah.
So that really like got to us, and finally our developer was like, okay, you know what, there is no other shortcut. I'm just going to start working on a game. If you guys want, you're welcome. Either way, no matter who joins or who doesn't, I'm going to do this because I don't want to be doing anything else with my life. So immediately the other two are like, okay, we're in,
This is what
let's
I
do
feel
it.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
that's
But
awesome, man.
like this was which, I mean, this was which year? What,
So
how,
late 2020, just
2020.
after COVID
So,
started.
so it's basically 3 years that you're building this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So 3 years into making, right? But one of the most important questions that I actually try to extract from people who are or who are actually indies, right? Building their games. How do you survive?
Man, that
What
question really
that was
hits hard.
that was so I'll tell you what you did. So I do theater, right? So in theater, between two lines, there's always a pause, right? And great actors don't take pause; they take pregnant pause, which is like a longer, which is like a longer pause.
Right.
So I felt that.
Oh, man. It's been 3 years of that then. I think, when we started, we really thought that we would have released the first game in the first 6 months, and then we'd know, and then we'd learn, and then, we'd release the next game. I think one of the decisions we took early on was to figure out if we would like to first sustain the business and then build our dream game. But for whatever reason, I think we were like going towards a direction of let's just build the game that we want. If it works, it works. Otherwise, we'll just figure out a way. We'll try again. We'll do something. And
Yeah.
then before we know it, it's like 2 years, 3 years down the line. The first year was actually a lot easier. We had no overhead expenses. It was four of us sitting in an office that cost like 10,000 rupees a month, and it belonged to a friend, so he wouldn't even like need us to pay immediately. Even if we put in like a small amount, it would last us for 6 months, 7 months. It was quite okay. Yeah, we did definitely miss having a salary, but we weren't afraid of making decisions. And then I think before we knew it, it was a year and a half in. We raised investment, and we tried for publishing. That didn't work out well, probably because now if I look at what we submitted, I myself feel a bit like we cringe. All of us are like, can't believe we thought that was good enough.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You actually you actually reminded me of Game Connection where I went with Mukti.
All right.
I still remember traveling to US with a shitty piece of work to get that publisher and compare it with what you have today. It's always it's always sad.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They say power of hindsight. But yeah, I guess it was a learning step. But we were lucky enough to get funding, and we were not expecting that at all. And as soon as that happened, we felt okay. There's an amount of seriousness attached to this. Now we're doing something that we cannot walk away from.
Yeah.
There's a clear, responsibility that we need to take, and somebody is backing the vision. to whatever level possible, and we need to justify
Yeah.
it to, in terms of the effort. Then we actually took on a 8-seater, 9-seater office, and we hired about 4 people. And then, okay, we thought we can pay ourselves a bit of stipend. Of course, it's not really going to cover much, but at least better than like having nothing.
Yeah,
And then, of course,
absolutely. Absolutely. Companies don't work on oxygen. Like there is
that,
a limit where founder can stretch things to a limit, but then, eventually you have your own family to, run. So
yeah,
I totally get what you're saying, man.
yeah. So we did that, and 9 months later, actually, we were hoping that we would have improved the game to a good enough point that we can get published. And that's again the next place that we were like completely wrong. We launched the demo. There was almost no response at all, no reaction, and if
This was on mobile?
actually, this was on PC.
Okay.
It was earlier this year in March. So actually, in January of this year, we went through, and there was a lot of graphical appraising that we were doing. And finally, we got a lot of our friends to tell us that it doesn't have any mobile game loops. You're saying it's premium. The graphics and the mechanics are all suiting to more PC and console. So that kind of made us reevaluate, and then we said, okay, you know what, we'll just jump in, we'll do PC console, then we'll do Switch, and then we'll do mobile.
Oh, I know. I honestly would definitely, bring this up here. I saw Winds of Arcana last year during IGDC, I guess, and now when I see it, like every week I see a snippet of Winds of Arcana in on LinkedIn. I'm telling you the amount of crazy work that you guys have put in, the difference in the art style and the gameplay, right? It's amazing. I mean, it's a lot. You can actually sense a lot of work has been put, and the best part about your team that I feel is, I mean, I'm sure audience is not really aware of it, and that's why we are doing this podcast also. From my personal experience, you're one of those teams who are eager to listen to and iterate on your product and not having that own own like a product ego, having one direction that you have. But I've seen you guys improving, and this is not just me. Yeah, I'll be very honest, and I think I'm saying this for the first time. Even when we have spoken offline, I've never told you this, but this is not just me. Over the period, between Jan to even today, I have spoken to at least 20 people who have said that the changes from that last year's to this year has been terrific. And I really hope that this game works for you. It just works for you, works for India, and
My
it's
God.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Yeah, this is the first time you're like revealing that, but that's just a like, thanks for that, and that's a testament to the team. Like, I think we were so excited when we put out the game demo on March, and I think there was like almost no reaction to it, and we thought at least we would get 500,000, 2,000 wish lists. I kid you not, we got, I think, 150 wish lists. I think we couldn't even believe it. We were like, wow, this is way worse than we ever thought. And
Yeah.
it was the biggest wake up call. I still, I think back to the time when we launched it, we were so excited. And it was, I think we never ever discussed about it amongst all the teammates. We were just trying to find, okay, what can we fix? And then before we knew it, that had become our thing, is don't care about the wish lists. That will come later. What is wrong with the game? There is something wrong with the game.
Yeah.
So I think every small thing it started bugging us. We just kept trying to fix it, and then of course funding was about to run out. We were also stressed about that. We realize now that we should have taken an even longer approach. We should have planned even better, and then luckily at the same time we were able to manage another friends and family follow up round. So seriously, the only reason we are continuing to do this is because of our friends and family. I think if like you asked, right, 3 years, how the hell are you surviving? It's only because of them. It's not because of what we have done. It is because of everybody around us that is protecting and supporting that allows us to do
Yeah,
this.
I just want to correct your statement, right? Everything you said is correct. There's one thing which you missed out, right? It's all because of them for sure, but you said you did nothing. You did something, and that is why they believe in it, right? Because of what you're putting, what the efforts you're putting, they believe in you, and that's why eventually. But I see the major difference here. My question about how does an indie team survives when they're building a game that they want to build, right? The biggest difference that I sensed in your story versus the typical indie story is usually they so it's all about the mindset, right? You, in your case, for you the game was more important than you making money every month. A lot of indies, what they do is they try to do outsourcing. They do a work for hire. They do B2B work so that money comes in, so that they can pay themselves. So, in conclusion, what I can say is it's your choice as an indie developer or a team. What you have to do depends on what you want, right? So, in your case, you are okay to not take that burden, that money on you, but take that pressure of building it versus other people that I know and I speak to, right, indie teams. So yeah, if you have the balls to survive for 3 years without taking a lot of money, then you actually can build a game a high quality game like these people here. Okay, audience.
No, they definitely should and they can do it. Maybe not in a complete 100% way in which we've been going. I think we did take a lot of decisions. For us, whenever we had that question, right, Vaibhav, the one that you mentioned, right, we fully understand and we respect people because you also have to think like a businessman,
Yeah.
and I think that time will come for us. But for us it was like if we start doing that, maybe how much we want to build our own game, we won't like it, the incentive will keep reducing
Yeah.
because we will get used to this. Of course, we didn't plan it would take 3 years, but we've pretty much like we've taken not an easy route. I think that's not for everybody, and we are yet to prove that this is the way. But at least what we can be sure is we're giving it our best shot. So I think that is what we can't have any regrets, and that's what I think we have to live with.
No, you said right. It's not yet proven. We'll know it when the time comes, right? But the best part is you're still in the race, right? You're still running, you're still hustling, you're still doing it, which is a victory in itself. A lot of studios. So I started in 2011, but since 2011 till today, I may have seen 200 companies starting after me and shutting before me. So
Right.
that's where the whole difference is. There are people that I know who are running their studios. No matter what, they have to fight that one more round when the fight is over. So we are all doing that, and we someday will win it, man. Someday we'll win it. But good part is we are still fighting in it. So yeah.
Yeah. I think you've been at it like for 4 times as long as we have. So I think it's quite reassuring to hear that. And yeah, I think some part of it is to be ready for the fight and to stay focused under the pressure. I think I'm really lucky in that way that I have enough people in the team that can take on the challenge. That none of us individually we want to like have each other's back, just so that we are able to do this together.
Yeah.
I think that is something we're really fortunate about. I think it's really hard to find, but I think it also gives us something a lot more to aspire to do, so that we can all be like, in a good place,
Yeah.
and the game can be in a good place, because we genuinely have been feeling like, forget like jobs and career and all of that. We've been gamers for like 20-25 years now, and we really believe like great games can be made in India. Why not? Like, we have the same access that all of the people there have. We also stay up till 12 o'clock to play the games, buy the consoles, watch the live action series, have all the achievements 100%. And I'm talking about like you, me, so many of our game developer friends, right? I talked to Himanshu and he's talking about how he platinumed Elden Ring, and he does it because he loves it,
Yeah.
right? Like, what is different about it? Our passion for games are also the same. So why not more of us try this? Because we can crack it. Maybe we won't get it right the first time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Absolutely. 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 It's not about this one game. This it's about the
yeah,
second, third, fourth game that we are building, right? That we'll build
yeah,
probably someday. But
just
again,
someone. Yeah,
one more thing that you mentioned was about the team, right? It's very difficult to find such a team who stands behind you, have the same passion to fight that for years, right, with you. Um, yeah, I'm glad to see you having that part sorted with you, right? Before we wrap up, right? Like couple of questions that I have, and it's not questions, just a piece of information that I would like to hear from you about Winds of Arcana. So Winds of Arcana is coming. You're saying it'll take one more year to come to PC. You're saying PC. Okay.
yeah. So late 2024, November or December. Uh, if we are able to figure it out with publishers or something, we can maybe push it a month or two, but try to do a PC and console launch, and if possible, even Switch. And then, 6 to 8 months later, we plan to do mobile release as well on Apple and Android. So for us, what was also important is try to understand all the benchmarks, how we want to like, make sure performance is very predictable on all platforms. So regularly we keep like, testing the build. And because ours is not a graphically intense game, I think so far we are lucky enough that it kind of works well on like, even like the same build that you tried at IGDC on the PC. It also works on like a 4-year-old phone. So we're quite like we're enjoying learning all of these things, and we want to prove that like, even to like publishers, even to audience, that we haven't done it before, but give us a chance. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't What
Definitely.
we don't know, we will learn tomorrow. So that's what we're trying to do.
Definitely, definitely. All right, man. All the best for the game. I would, love to see the early builds. Definitely want to try it, and definitely going to be covering a lot of stuff on your game also on this channel. Uh, but before we wrap this up, a couple of advices from you to the folks out there who want to build their own indie games. Um, in general, one tip on that, and the second thing is about, which again, we spoke about it earlier, is the team, because a lot of people find it very difficult to find those people who can join them. Any tips on that side? How to how to build or have that collaboration with people on your game. So yeah, last few words from you.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely important that, firstly, I think people who have a passion for making games, I think just make games. I think now we have an active community, whether it be, gamedev.in that, arranges so many events, or it be IGDC, all of this, you're already, educating your audience about. Just meet people, go to game dev meetups, catch up with people, find like-minded people, but who completely complement your skills. So if you're a programmer, go try to talk to like people that you don't understand. If you're a programmer and an artist, then go find, a designer. Like, try to have conversations with people who like similar things but have a completely different skill set. I think the diversity is what, you can do some really cool things
Yeah.
when people from different, like,
Yeah, you need to find someone who can complement your skills also, right? Which is what.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think now in India, there are people who do so many crazy things. Recently, we wanted to hire a sound designer for our team, and we thought we were going to get 5 applicants. We got 200 applicants.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Wow.
Who knew? Who knew? There are people who have learned crazy things, who've had great experiences. So I think people just have to be curious, show an interest, go to a game dev meetup. If you see people like, be a little intimidating, go talk to them. You'll find that they're the sweetest, kindest, most supportive people. They have the capacity to surprise you.
You said the same thing about me, right? I remember this.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, people mistaken me have mistaken me a lot of times that अरे ये एक तो एग्रेसिव बंदा है, ये खड़ूस एग्रेसिव बंदा है, भाई आके बात करो
Actually,
मुझसे.
बात करने से, it's completely different. I think what, you think of a person,
Yeah.
what they are like, but then when you interact with them, you completely see a different side to them.
Cool, cool. You have a Steam page, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
do, and
Cool.
I'll share you the link.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll put the link in the description. People just go wishlist the game. It's coming out in a year. Support the Indian game development community. These guys are making something really interesting. You just need to check it out. I'll also be putting in this podcast only. I'll put some videos, your trailer and all that stuff. Description में मैंने link डाल रहा हूँ सारी. For Prashant's LinkedIn also, his company also, the Steam page, and then eventually, you know, that's the whole episode. If you have, if you liked it, just leave a like. Have any questions for me or even for Prashant, just put down in the comments, and we'll answer it. And if you are finding this video for the first time, the channel for the first time, do subscribe to the channel. See you all guys in the next video. Till then, goodbye.